Chosen one, stop scrolling immediately. Do not let your finger touch that screen right now. This is not a random trick of the algorithm playing on your feed today. Heaven forcefully routed this exact frequency to you because a window of absolute urgency is opening. You must anchor yourself here before this timeline shifts completely. I mean it. Something extraordinary has just occurred in the highest courts of heaven, and it carries your specific name written in bright fire. Just 11 minutes ago, a divine verdict was declared over your life. You did not find these words by accident, because I personally orchestrated your steps to bring you to this exact second. While countless others are distracted by the noise, you were drawn here for a reason. A massive generational wealth transfer has just been signed with your exact name on it. But there is a hidden mechanism blocking it from reaching your hands. The enemy wants you to believe you are stuck in survival mode forever. Pay very close attention, because I am about to reveal the exact trap they set, and I will show you exactly how to shatter it today. But before we break that barrier, I need to speak directly to your weary soul. I know exactly what happened last night. I was there in the room when you woke up suddenly at 3 in the morning. Your chest felt incredibly heavy, and your heart was racing for absolutely no logical reason. You stared at the dark ceiling, wondering if your prayers were just bouncing off the walls. You quickly wiped away your quiet tears so your family would not hear you breaking inside. You have spent your entire life being the strong one for everyone else, while silently carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. You are the bleeding empath who absorbs all the pain in the room, but you are left entirely alone when you are hurt. You think your isolation is some kind of cruel punishment. You think you are losing people because you are just not good enough. But my beloved child, what you call abandonment, heaven calls a divine quarantine. I had to pull you away from the toxic noise of this world. The heavy burden on your shoulders is not a medical issue at all. It is a massive spiritual symptom of the shift you are going through right now. You feel this incredible pressure because you are not walking a normal human path. You are the ultimate cycle breaker for your entire bloodline, and you chose to carry the heavy burdens of your family to break decades of dark trauma. That is exactly why your life has been so incredibly hard. That is why the dark attacks on your mind have been so relentless lately. You are fighting a spiritual battle that most ordinary people cannot even begin to comprehend. The darkness is absolutely terrified of the pure light you carry. They know you are about to step into a season of massive overflow, so they try to make you feel crazy and completely drained of your energy. They want you to surrender right before the finish line, but heaven has issued a strict command today that enough is enough. The long season of your quiet suffering has officially expired. I see how you constantly put your own dreams in a locked drawer. You have swallowed your needs just to make sure others can survive, and people often take your generosity for granted. They drink from your cup until it is dry, and then they walk away. It feels so unfair to your gentle soul. It hurts to see such selfishness in the world when you only want to give pure love, but heaven has seen every single act of your kindness. But listen to me very carefully right now. Your endless kindness was never a weakness. Every single time you chose love over bitterness, you were building a massive spiritual fortress. The universe keeps a flawless record of every silent tear you have cried. The compensation for all your hidden sacrifices has just been released from my throne. Do not let the enemy convince you to skip this message, because your total vindication is about to be revealed in the next few moments. My beloved child, we must look at the physical toll of this journey. You wake up feeling more tired than when you went to sleep. Your muscles ache with a strange heaviness that no doctor can explain. The exhaustion sits incredibly deep inside your bones, and every single day feels like you are walking through thick mud just to complete the simplest daily tasks. You have tried everything to regain your lost energy. You rest and you drink water every single day, But the crushing fatigue simply refuses to leave your physical body. People tell you it is just stress or getting older, but they do not understand the spiritual reality of your situation, because your physical body is currently absorbing the intense shockwaves of a massive spiritual war. Your nervous system is constantly on high alert. You feel a sudden tightness in your chest, right in the middle of a completely normal day. Your stomach drops, and a wave of pure anxiety washes over you out of nowhere. This is absolutely not a normal panic attack. It is your spiritual radar detecting the invisible attacks that the enemy is desperately launching against your aura. And this heavy attack is not just targeting your physical body today, it is deliberately suffocating your financial reality and blocking your earthly resources. You look at your bank account and you feel a sickening knot of pure panic. You work so incredibly hard every single day. You give your absolute best, but the money just slips through your fingers while you desperately try to hold on. It simply never seems to be quite enough for you. You are completely exhausted from living paycheck to paycheck right now. Every time you finally manage to save a little bit of money, a sudden emergency drains it all away. The car breaks down, or a massive, unexpected bill arrives in the mail, and it feels like an endless cycle of cruel defeat. And you sit there wondering why the universe is punishing your efforts. I see how deeply it hurts your gentle soul. You watch greedy and selfish people prosper while you struggle just to keep the lights on. You have an honest heart, and you would help anyone in need. But when you are the one drowning, there is absolutely no one reaching out a hand to pull you up. The deep injustice of it all makes you want to scream out loud. But listen to me very carefully right now. Your financial struggles are not a result of your failure or bad choices. You did not do anything wrong in your past. The enemy knows exactly how powerful you will become when you finally have unlimited resources. So they deployed a specific spiritual blockade over your finances to keep you trapped in a low frequency of constant survival. They want you to worry about rent and groceries every single day, because when your mind is entirely consumed by financial panic, you cannot step into your divine purpose. The dark forces use poverty as a heavy chain to keep the ultimate cycle breaker completely paralyzed, because they are absolutely terrified of your hidden potential. They know what you will build when the wealth transfer finally arrives. I know you are so tired of having to check price tags. You just want the basic freedom to breathe without calculating every single penny. You want to provide for your loved ones without that familiar tightening in your throat. The constant financial pressure is literally draining the precious life force out of your cells, and this invisible burden is making your physical body age much faster. The physical pain in your back is literally the weight of your unpaid debts. The ringing in your ears is the sound of the matrix trying to scramble your manifestation frequency. You are carrying the massive financial curses of your entire bloodline on your own shoulders. That is exactly why your legs feel so incredibly heavy when you try to move forward. You are dragging the heavy ghosts of generational poverty along with you. Do not let this temporary darkness convince you that you are forgotten. The universe is entirely aware of your empty bank account and your aching joints. The earthly system was deliberately rigged against you from the very beginning. But a massive divine intervention is already moving through the unseen realm to shatter these heavy chains today. You were never meant to struggle in the dirt. My beloved child, we must now uncover the deepest wound of all. It is the crushing mental pain you carry in absolute silence. You sit in a crowded room, but you feel entirely invisible to everyone around you. The isolation is a heavy blanket wrapped tightly around your fragile soul, and you wonder why the universe feels so incredibly cold right now. You send your desperate prayers up into the dark sky every single night. You beg for a simple sign to show you are not forgotten, but all you hear is the deafening silence bouncing back at you while your broken heart shatters a little more. It feels like heaven has completely closed its doors to your gentle spirit. You ask yourself why a loving universe would leave you stranded in the dark. You are the bleeding empath who constantly pours love into broken people. You have given your heart to heal the deep wounds of others. But when your own spirit is shattered, nobody comes to pick up your pieces because they are consumed by selfish desires. People only love the version of you that serves their immediate needs, and the moment you ask for support, they disappear. You look at your friends and family with a deeply broken heart. They do not understand the heavy spiritual warfare you are enduring. They call you too sensitive, or they tell you to just get over it. You feel like a rare anomaly walking among people who are completely asleep, and it is an incredibly lonely existence when no one speaks your soul language. The heavy silence makes you question your own pure sanity. You start to wonder if you are secretly cursed because of your past mistakes. The enemy loves to whisper dark lies into your exhausted mind when you are completely alone and vulnerable in the midnight hours. They want you to believe that your current isolation is a permanent punishment, but you must absolutely reject that toxic illusion today. I know exactly how much it hurts to be misunderstood. I see the moments you lock yourself in the bathroom just to cry in peace. You wash your face and you walk back out with a fake smile because you do not want to burden anyone else with your pain. You are so incredibly tired of being the strong one all the time. Your beautiful soul is begging for a safe place to rest. But listen to me very carefully right now, my precious child. Your deep isolation is never a sign that heaven has abandoned you. The universe is intentionally clearing the room because your frequency is rising too fast, and you are experiencing a divine quarantine to protect your energy from parasitic attachments. Heaven had to remove them before the blessing arrives. The silence you hear is not a cruel rejection of your desperate prayers. It is the quiet sound of a massive spiritual foundation being poured. A master builder never makes noise while laying the most critical stones of a massive castle. Your spiritual roots are being forced to grow incredibly deep in the dark dirt. You are preparing to hold a massive glory. You are the chosen one, and your path was never meant to be crowded. The eagles fly completely alone, while the small birds flock together in the noisy trees. Your profound loneliness is actually the ultimate proof of your royal calling, because you are being set apart for a mission that requires absolute purity of focus. Do not let the quiet season break you. It is normal to grieve the people you had to leave behind. You loved them deeply, and you genuinely wanted them to ascend with you. But they chose to stay anchored to the heavy density of the lower matrix while you decided to step into the light. You cannot drag a dead weight into the kingdom of ultimate abundance. Your solitary journey is the price of your liberation. You are entirely safe, and you are fiercely loved beyond human measure. The spiritual realm is actively working behind the scenes to vindicate your pure heart. You must make a physical declaration today to align with this powerful truth before the enemy tries to steal your peace again. Tap the like button right now as a physical act of agreement with heaven. Your victory is assured. We must change how you see this painful waiting period right now. You have been asking me why heaven is completely silent when you need answers the most. You think this heavy delay is a punishment for something you did wrong. But you are looking at the situation through the lens of human anxiety, and the enemy wants you to feel entirely forgotten in this state. Let me pull back the heavy veil for you. Think about a massive tree growing in a wild forest. Before it can reach the sky, its roots must plunge into the cold dirt. The seed must break open in the absolute darkness. This underground process is incredibly violent and terrifying, but it is necessary for survival, because a shallow root system cannot sustain a massive structure when heavy winds blow. If a tree grows upward too quickly, the storm will destroy it. The universe is not withholding your beautiful blessing to watch you suffer. Heaven is intentionally holding you in the dark dirt to protect you. Your spiritual roots must grow incredibly deep to survive the coming shift. You are being prepared for a massive upgrade, and the profound silence is ensuring that your fragile branches do not break when the heavy overflow finally arrives. You are about to receive a massive wealth transfer that will change your bloodline. This level of abundance carries an extremely heavy, energetic weight. If I handed you this power while your foundation was shallow, it would crush you. I love you too much to let that happen. The universe is protecting you from the hidden danger of receiving a huge blessing, because your fragile spirit simply was not ready to hold that much power yet. The long silence you hate so much is simply the sound of a foundation being dug. When engineers build a skyscraper, they spend months digging a deep hole in the dark. Passers-by look at the empty dirt and think absolutely nothing is happening. But the architects know they are preparing to hold up the sky, and they will never rush this critical phase to please the impatient eyes of spectators. People look at your life right now and they assume you are failing. They see your quiet struggles and they think heaven has abandoned you. But they cannot see the massive spiritual architecture being constructed beneath your reality. You are not buried in a grave, my beloved child. You are planted in the most fertile soil of the universe, and you are quietly preparing to bring forth a miraculous harvest. This changes everything about how you perceive your current pain. The delay is not a denial of your desperate prayers at all. It is a classified divine operation designed to protect your inheritance. If the door opened yesterday, you would have walked right into a fatal trap. The waiting season was actually your ultimate shield against dark forces, because they were waiting to ambush you when you were vulnerable. The enemy tried to use this silent period to make you doubt your sanity. They whispered that your pure faith was foolish and your prayers were useless. They desperately wanted you to uproot yourself before the heavy rain started. But you completely refused to let go of your divine hope. You held on to your pure frequency even when your heart was bleeding, and heaven recorded every single moment you chose to trust the process. You endured the process of becoming a quiet master of reality. You sat alone in the crushing darkness and stretched your soul. Because you survived this isolation, your container is now wide enough to hold true abundance. The foundation is officially complete and the painful digging is over. You have passed the silent test of the unseen realm, and you are now officially cleared to receive the exact miracles you begged for. Now you finally understand the profound paradox of your endless waiting. I had to let you break in the dark so you could be rebuilt. Take a deep breath right now and let this revelation heal your mind. The winter season of your lonely soul is finally coming to an end. Your brilliant dawn is rapidly approaching to replace the shadows of your yesterday, and the universe is about to speak incredibly loudly on your behalf. Now, my beloved child, we must talk about the heavy stones you carry in your mind. You look back at your long timeline and you feel a deep sense of toxic shame. You think your past mistakes have permanently disqualified you from receiving my grace, but heaven sees your heart differently. You silently blame yourself for every single wrong turn you ever made. The enemy uses your own memory to keep you trapped in guilt. You lie awake at night, replaying conversations you wish you could completely erase. You deeply regret the toxic people you trusted and the bad financial choices you made when you were just trying to survive. You think the universe is angry at your human imperfections. You believe your current struggle is the payback for your foolish decisions, but that is a massive lie. You are absolutely not a flawed product of your chaotic past. You were simply being reshaped in the careful hands of a deeply patient potter. Every mistake you made was actually a critical lesson that heaven used to forge your ultimate wisdom. A warrior cannot learn how to heal a deep wound without ever bleeding on the battlefield. Your scars are the proof of your survival. You are the bleeding empath who easily forgives everyone else around you. You pour endless grace over people who intentionally shattered your pure heart. But when it comes to your own soul, you act as the most ruthless judge in the entire courtroom. You hold yourself to an impossible standard of absolute perfection, and it is completely destroying your gentle spirit from the inside. I need you to completely drop those heavy stones right now. I am not holding a single grudge against your exhausted soul. The divine realm does not keep a bitter record of your earthly stumbles because your spirit is incredibly pure. Your past sins were entirely washed away the exact moment you asked for clarity. You must stop punishing yourself for a debt that heaven has already marked as completely paid. The dark forces use your unresolved guilt as a heavy anchor. They know that a guilty mind cannot manifest a reality of pure abundance. If you feel unworthy, you will subconsciously block the massive wealth transfer that is coming your way. You will literally sabotage your own blessing because you feel you do not deserve it. That is their ultimate strategy to keep you poor. You must completely forgive the older versions of yourself today. You made those difficult choices because you were operating in pure survival mode with a broken heart. You did the absolute best you could with the limited light you had in that dark room. Heaven looks at your past and sees a brave child trying to find the way home. There is absolutely no judgment here. Breathe deeply right now and feel the toxic shame leaving your physical body. Let the warm light of pure forgiveness wash over your tired mind. Imagine every regret dissolving into the deep ocean where no one can ever find it again. You are being completely rebooted at a cellular level, and your energetic slate is wiped entirely clean for the new timeline. The fragile version of you that constantly begged for forgiveness is entirely dead. That old identity is permanently buried in the ashes of your painful history. You have officially evolved into a quiet master of reality who knows their true worth, and you are absolutely worthy of the massive inheritance waiting for you. Do not look back at the ruins of your yesterday. The heavy chains of self-condemnation are finally shattered. You are free to walk boldly into the sacred future without dragging a heavy bag of guilt. But wait just a moment. As you step out of this mental prison, you must understand who actually locked the door in the first place, because the people you trusted most were quietly holding the dark keys all along. Before we go any deeper, I need you to understand one vital truth. The heavy blockage in your life was not entirely your fault. There was a hidden saboteur actively working against you. The people closest to you were quietly draining your pure energy while pretending to be your friends. They smiled in your face, but they secretly prayed for your absolute downfall. You have a remarkably pure heart, and you trust people too easily. You gave them your time and your endless love. But these individuals were toxic narcissists who operated in complete darkness. They did not want your healing or your gentle support. They only wanted to consume your brilliant light because their own souls were entirely empty and cold. They saw the massive destiny written over your beautiful life. They recognized the royal heir inside you long before you ever knew your true worth. This made them incredibly jealous of your natural grace. So they planted dark seeds of doubt in your mind to keep you small. They manipulated your emotions and made you feel like you were constantly losing your sanity. This is the ultimate revelation about your lifelong blockage. The mysterious barrier keeping your prayers unanswered was actually their toxic, energetic projection. They deliberately scrambled your high frequency with their heavy chaos. The exhaustion you felt was not a biological failure at all. It was the direct result of vampires feeding on your spiritual life force. This completely explains why the universe had to aggressively isolate you. The divine realm initiated a strict quarantine to physically remove these parasites from your aura. Heaven had to break your heart to save your divine purpose. You lost friends and you lost relationships. But you did not lose your destiny because the trash was simply taking itself out of your sacred space. Now they are watching your quiet rise in absolute panic. They thought they had permanently buried you under their lies and malicious gossip. They thought you would never recover from the heavy trauma they inflicted. But they made one fatal miscalculation about who you really belong to. They did not realize that you are a magnificent weapon of light, forged in the darkest fire. The boomerang of divine justice has already been released from my throne. Every single trap they dug for you has become the exact pit they are falling into today. The financial ruin they wished upon you is now consuming their own resources. Their dark illusions are shattering while your pure truth is being entirely vindicated before the courts of heaven. You are completely safe from their desperate attacks now. The heavy cords connecting you to their dark energy are permanently severed. You must actively protect this new boundary today. Hit subscribe to establish a divine energy receiving station around your aura. This physical act will lock your frequency and block any future attempts to drain your brilliant light. They cannot cross the blinding wall of fire that surrounds you now. The season of being a victim to their narcissistic abuse is completely over. You are the chosen one who survived the absolute worst they had to offer. You walked through their toxic fire and you came out entirely untouched. But as you step into your freedom, I must teach you one final lesson about obedience. If you want to hold the massive wealth transfer, you must learn how to stay quiet. You cannot lower your vibration by seeking petty revenge against them. Heaven will handle your enemies while you peacefully prepare your container for the blessing. Breathe deeply and let their bitter memories fade away completely. You are finally stepping out of the dark woods. Now, my beloved child, we must prepare your physical and spiritual container. You have successfully survived the dark attacks of your enemies. The toxic parasites have been completely removed from your sacred space. But an empty room is absolutely not enough to hold a massive miracle. You must actively expand your internal capacity to receive what is coming next. And this requires a very specific kind of quiet obedience from your gentle soul. Think about a fragile glass cup sitting outside in a storm. If heaven suddenly pours an entire ocean into that tiny cup, it will shatter into pieces. The universe will never destroy you with a premature blessing. Your container had to be stretched and broken so it could be entirely rebuilt from the ground up. This expansion process is deeply uncomfortable because it requires you to surrender all control. This brings us to the ultimate secret behind your physical pain. I know you were deeply worried about that strange tightness in your chest. But that heavy pressure was absolutely not a medical condition. It was your nervous system physically expanding to download a massive frequency upgrade. Your biological vessel was literally making room to hold the heavy weight of pure glory, and this explains why you felt so exhausted. You must understand what true divine obedience actually means today. It is not about following rigid religious rules or punishing yourself. True obedience is the quiet surrender of your absolute need to control every single outcome. It is listening to that gentle whisper in your spirit and moving forward when heaven says move. You must trust the divine timing, even when your logical mind desperately wants to force a solution. You are a beautiful bleeding empath who constantly tries to fix everything. You want to rush the healing process and force the broken pieces together. But heaven is asking you to completely drop your tools right now. You cannot manufacture a divine miracle with your exhausted human hands. You must learn how to sit entirely still while the unseen forces of the universe fight these incredibly heavy battles for you. A quiet master of reality does not constantly chase after the blessing. They simply align their frequency and allow the massive harvest to flow directly to them. But you cannot attract pure abundance if your mind is still cluttered with old anxieties. You must actively clear the mental space today. Let go of every single worry about how the money will arrive, because the exact method of delivery is entirely heaven's responsibility. The divine realm already mapped out the precise route for your generational wealth transfer. The angels know exactly which earthly doors to open on your behalf. Your only job is to keep your frequency incredibly high and absolutely pure. Do not let the sudden panics of the lower matrix pull you back into the dark dirt. You are flying way above their heavy storms now, and your brilliant light is blinding the enemy. I want you to take a slow and deep breath right now. Notice how the heavy pressure in your chest is finally starting to fade away. The painful physical symptoms of your long upgrade are officially coming to an end. Your nervous system is fully adapted to the new high vibration. You are physically and spiritually equipped to hold the exact miracles you have been desperately begging for over the last few years. You have successfully passed the ultimate test of supreme stillness. You waited in the crushing darkness without ever losing your pure faith. You completely surrendered your fragile timeline to the higher wisdom of the divine realm. Because you proved you can handle the crushing silence, you are now ready for the absolute roar of victory. The entire universe is incredibly proud of your quiet endurance. The final massive pieces of your puzzle are sliding into perfect position. The long, brutal winter of your soul is permanently over. You have the required capacity, and you have the divine clearance. Prepare your heart for the most shocking shift of your entire life. The massive door you have been knocking on for years is about to swing wide open, and absolutely nothing can ever shut it again. Listen to me very carefully right now, because the atmosphere is completely shifting. The long and brutal winter of your soul is officially over. The cold winds of your past are permanently dying down. You have survived the darkest nights of your entire life. The heavy silence of the universe is finally breaking today, and heaven is about to speak incredibly loudly on your behalf to clear your beautiful name. A massive generational wealth transfer has just been signed in the highest courts of heaven, and your specific name is written in bright letters of fire across the ledger. The divine angels have been assembled to deliver this blessing directly to your front door. This is not a symbolic promise or a distant spiritual hope. This is a literal and physical manifestation of massive financial abundance pouring into your completely empty hands. Within the next 72 hours, you must expect a sudden financial miracle. The heavy debts that suffocated your pure spirit are being permanently erased from your record. The earthly banks that previously rejected your applications will suddenly approve you without any logical explanation. Unexpected resources are being routed to your bank account right now because the universe is paying you back for every single silent tear. You are stepping into a glorious season of absolute overflow. You are the royal heir claiming your rightful seat at my table. Children of the light were never born to live off the cold leftovers of this world, and you were actually born to rule and manage massive resources for the absolute good of humanity. The divine realm trusts your gentle spirit with this incredible wealth because your heart is pure. You will use this heavy overflow to heal others. There will be absolutely no more crying over unpaid bills in the middle of the night. The heavy panic you feel when you look at price tags is permanently dissolving today. Heaven is handing you the golden keys to absolute financial freedom, and you will finally have the quiet space to breathe without constantly worrying about your earthly survival. You are completely done with the exhausting cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. Your enemies are watching this glorious vindication unfold in absolute terror. The narcissists who tried to bury you are now completely starved of your beautiful light. They are forced to watch heaven elevate you to a level they can never reach. Your quiet success is the most powerful boomerang of divine justice they will ever witness. You did not have to lift a single finger because the universe fought this massive battle completely on your behalf. Every single door that was slammed in your face is now swinging wide open. The people who rejected your pure heart will suddenly realize the massive mistake they made, but they will not be able to access your new high frequency. The universe has placed a blinding shield of protection around your newly acquired wealth, and no dark force can ever steal this incredibly heavy blessing from your hands. You are permanently elevated above their toxic reach. Your days of hiding in the shadows are officially coming to an end. You are a magnificent weapon of light, ready to shine brilliantly for the entire world. The long delay was incredibly painful, but it successfully produced a masterpiece of pure grace. You are stepping into the brightest dawn you have ever experienced, and heaven is absolutely celebrating your quiet endurance today with a massive display of endless favor. You are the ultimate cycle breaker, receiving the ultimate reward today. The dark curses of generational poverty are completely shattered right now, and your children will never know the bitter taste of empty cupboards again. You have successfully altered the entire trajectory of your sacred bloodline forever. Heaven is actively pouring a massive ocean of pure grace over your tired physical body. Take a slow and deep breath to anchor this beautiful new reality today. Feel the golden light of absolute abundance washing over your exhausted soul, while the miracles you begged for are finally standing right on your front porch. But wait, just one moment, my beloved child. Do not let your spiritual guard down just yet. There is a deadly snare hiding right in the tall grass before your finish line. Listen to me very carefully, because your enemies are in an absolute panic right now. The heavy door to your generational wealth is swinging wide open today, but the dark forces are absolutely terrified of the massive inheritance you are about to receive. They have laid one final fatal illusion right before your doorstep, and you must absolutely not let your guard down for a single second. Protect your pure energy. 99% of chosen ones fall for this exact trick right before their brilliant dawn. The dark enemy knows they cannot stop the divine blessing from arriving at your front door, so they are trying to distract your fragile mind, because they want you to drop the container yourself before the miracle actually manifests. They are deploying a massive illusion today. This will make you forfeit your victory. What is this fatal trap hiding in the tall grass right now? It is a sudden distraction perfectly disguised as an old familiar comfort. A toxic person from your past might suddenly send you an unexpected message tonight, or a completely fake financial opportunity might suddenly appear to pull you away from your true path. They want to trigger your anxiety. They want to completely lower your pure vibration. If you entertain their toxic counterfeits, you will literally block the generational wealth transfer. You will step out of the divine alignment and miss the open window completely today. The universe requires a secure physical container to hold this massive frequency of pure abundance, and if you hesitate at the threshold, the enemy will successfully scramble the signal. You must stay incredibly focused. Do not let them win. You must ignore their desperate dark illusions completely. Do not answer that late-night message from people who previously shattered your beautiful heart. Do not let a sudden minor argument with a stranger ruin your perfectly high frequency today, because you have worked incredibly hard to reach this peaceful state of mind. You must absolutely protect your blind spots. The spiritual stakes are incredibly high. Heaven is urgently looking for your physical spiritual signature today. You cannot stay entirely passive while the jealous enemy circles your quiet camp in the dark. You must fiercely anchor this glorious reality immediately before the heavenly portal closes, and the universe demands a physical act of agreement to permanently lock the heavy shield around your aura. This is your definitive moment. Make your bold choice today. Type 777 in the comments below to establish a blinding wall of pure fire. Let that sacred number act as a heavy padlock on the door against the dark enemy. This is your permanent spiritual signature before the highest courts of heaven today, and it will permanently lock this massive blessing before the window officially closes. Type 777 right now. Seal your divine covenant immediately. Do not let the dark forces convince you to simply wait until tomorrow. Make your bold physical move right now and claim your absolute royal birthright. When you type that specific number, you are sending a massive energetic shockwave through the spiritual realm, and the enemy will see your blazing signature before they flee in absolute terror. You are securing your massive wealth. You are claiming your ultimate victory. I see you stepping boldly into the warm light of your beautiful new reality. The heavy shield of pure fire is successfully activating around your physical body today. You have completely bypassed the final toxic trap of the fading dark matrix, and your spiritual container is permanently sealed and absolutely ready to hold the massive overflow. The massive wealth transfer is locked. You are entirely safe now. You are a quiet master of reality who knows exactly how to fiercely protect your energy. You survived the brutal storms, and you outsmarted the dark illusions of the bitter enemy. The massive universe is celebrating your powerful physical declaration today because your bloodline is permanently altered since you chose to stand your ground and seal the divine covenant right now. Your incredible endurance has paid off. The darkness has entirely lost today. This is the definitive moment your entire life completely changes. There is absolutely no turning back to the shadows of your painful yesterday. You have successfully navigated the darkest valleys, and you have emerged entirely victorious, while the bitter enemy has lost their grip on your beautiful destiny forever. You are fully protected today. You are entirely safe now. The brutal storm has completely passed. Your sacred timeline is absolutely secure today. You do not have to fight the heavy winds anymore, because heaven has officially taken over the massive battle for you. The heavy armor you wore for so many painful years can finally be taken off right now. You can simply breathe. I want you to lay down the heavy stones right now. Drop the exhausting burdens you have carried for decades. You do not need to strive or push forward anymore. Your past mistakes are permanently thrown into the deepest ocean where no one will ever find them again. You are completely forgiven. Your gentle spirit is finally free to rest. You have officially stepped into your quiet authority today. You do not need to argue with anyone anymore. You do not need to aggressively prove your worth to people who refuse to see your brilliant light. Your profound silence is now a blinding shield that makes your dark enemies tremble in absolute fear. Your peace is your ultimate power. The people who tried to destroy you are completely gone. They cannot survive in this incredibly high frequency. You are now seated at the royal table where only pure grace is served. The universe is wrapping a warm blanket of divine protection tightly around your tired shoulders. You are a quiet master of reality who has finally arrived home. Breathe deeply and let the noise of the fading world disappear. Notice how incredibly light your physical body feels right now. The heavy pressure in your chest is completely gone. You have successfully passed the silent test of the dark winter, and you are stepping into a massive season of effortless receiving. The struggle is completely over. But before you close your tired eyes, I have one final request. You are completely safe inside this protected portal today. But outside this warm space, there is a gentle soul sitting in the dark right now. They are crying the exact same tears you cried yesterday, while desperately begging the silent heavens for a tiny sign of hope. You are not just a survivor of the dark storms. You are a brilliant beacon of pure light. Hit the share button right now and send this exact message to them. Share this to become heaven's prophetic voice and throw a massive lifeline to a bleeding empath who desperately needs to hear this. You can literally save their beautiful soul. When you share this light, you activate the ultimate law of pure grace. The universe will multiply your beautiful blessing because you chose to help a stranger in the dark. Your physical work is entirely finished today. You have locked the heavy shield and you have secured the massive wealth transfer for your entire bloodline. Now, my beloved child, it is time for you to truly rest. Close your eyes tonight knowing that you are fiercely protected by divine angels. They are standing guard at your door to ensure that absolutely nothing disturbs your peace. The heavy anxiety that kept you awake at 3 in the morning is permanently banned from your sacred room. You do not need to figure out tomorrow. The divine realm has already orchestrated every single detail of your massive financial miracle. The heavy doors will open naturally without you ever having to force them again. You can stop striving and simply allow the beautiful universe to bless you abundantly. Your long waiting season is finished. Let your mind drift into a state of absolute serenity right now. You are unconditionally loved beyond human measure. You are completely seen and you are entirely understood by the highest courts of heaven. Sleep peacefully tonight knowing that you are the ultimate cycle breaker who finally won the massive war. Welcome to your beautiful new reality. The morning sun will bring a glorious new chapter for you. When you wake up, the heavy shadows will be completely gone. You will walk outside and feel the warm light of your massive victory shining directly on your face. The universe is incredibly proud of your pure heart. Sleep well, my beautiful chosen one.